Hello, salutations. What it is? Start the game. Raw founder, direct gang, the vibes like subscribe. Let's get it. Welcome once again to the Aftershow Podcast. We got a pretty insane week. A lot of stuff to talk about, and I could not be more happy to be discussing it. Well, I could be if Yuri Lowenthal was here. That would make it way better. But
I accept that.
But in absence of Yuri Lowenthal or Zoe Saldana, we got JayShockblast.
I'll do.
He'll do. And of course, we'll join in spirit by Casual Avenger, who is too busy with his deep dish. So we wish him the best. Hope he doesn't get indigestion. How you doing, my friend?
It's been a week. There's a lot of stuff going on. Very excited. I'm a little reinvigorated this week. I got to be honest with you. Very excited for what's to come. Started a little bit of a working relationship with a company I've been wanting to work with for a very long time. I'm not sure how much I can say yet, but next week you'll be able to see it.
Also, Assassin's Creed Mirage is coming up.
Yeah, I think we're both allowed to talk about that. We're going to be playing that.
We're full disclosure. We are both in the Ubisoft creator program. So, and we are literally. They told us we are literally allowed to say that.
Yeah,
we have in our possession Assassin's Creed Mirage, and we'll be covering it for the October 4th embargo.
To answer this question real quick, I would expect, from what I understand, Omni-Man by the end of the month.
There you have it, MK1, Omni-Man DLC. So the embargo for Assassin's Creed Mirage is October 4th. I expect we'll be making announcements on social media about it soon. Spider-Man 2 embargo is October 16th. We're going to be getting into all that because, boy, is there a lot of Spider-Man 2 stuff to go over.
I actually cannot believe they sent out codes this early.
It's the whole situation. We're going to talk about Spider-Man 2 first, but the whole thing is insane. Like there's a lot to talk about there. But shout out to the chat. We had Capte. He was the first one here. He is the winner. Congratulations to Capte, the last Avenger standing. I mean, and speaking of Avengers, where tomorrow is the last day of its existence on digital storefronts before it is removed forever.
That's another conversation to have.
So whole other conversation that we'll probably get to. So shout out to Capte. Literally will be the last Avenger standing. Drew Wallace, the Bearded One, Tyler Davis, Old Man Eastwood. We got Comments the Beast, Free Willy Rocks in the building. Marquise Hoarder Gamer, shout out to Hoarder, appreciate you. This is going to we got so much to talk about. So let's just dive right into the meat and potatoes, the Spider-Man 2 updates. As you probably know by now, especially if you've been following my YouTube channel, Spider-Man 2 officially announced that pre-orders, I mean, not the pre-orders, the reviews are up. They have sent out review codes for Spider-Man 2 to media members and content creators, mostly media members. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Almost no content creator was given a review code, which is unusual to say the least. And it's almost every single one has gone to a member of the gaming media. They were allowed to share a little bit, just a little tease. They got the title screen for Marvel Spider-Man 2, the official title screen. And as you see, it is, of course, Harry Osborn staring at the symbiote that will not bond with him because Peter is going to be Venom and Norman is going to be the other Venom. But that's neither here nor there. But there are multiple title screens, as expected from a Insomniac Spider-Man game, but this is basically the one they shared. There's an alternative one where it's the same, basically the same scene at a different angle. It is the thumbnail of this live stream, but because human nature, the existence of the internet, we got some leaks. So it started out early in the week. What we thought was a TV spot that aired internationally in Brazil. Just because this happened before. There was a promo. There was a live from PS5 promo that was launched earlier in the year. It went on TV. People saw it, saw Spider-Man, got really excited, and everything was all good. We thought the same thing happened this time around, but apparently that was not the case. It was a leak. Unclear if it's connected to the Sony hack that just happened, but probably. But whatever the case may be, it was not supposed to be out there. It did not air on TV. Someone just uploaded it, and it was in Brazilian Portuguese. It showed Venom. It was basically a CGI trailer that showed Venom fighting Peter and Miles. Really cool. Can't wait for the English version. But that was just tip of the iceberg. And Insomniac shared a list of some of the trophies just to give us a little tease. And then literally like hours later, the entire list of trophies leaked.
I have been good. I have not read the entire list of trophies, but I did respond to one of the ones they posted because I think it's like an Office reference. It was called Slackline.
Right.
And I don't know if you ever watched The Office, there's like a famous episode where Andy Bernard comes back from like confidence camp and he sets up a slack line and Dwight Schrute kind of gets jealous and does terrible. So I'm pretty sure it's a reference to that. But yeah, that's awesome.
So I was not a good boy, and I went on Tom Henderson's article and read the entire list of trophies, and there was a few huge spoilers depending on how you look at it. Now. So the thing is, I'm not gonna spoil it, but I mean, I talked about one of them in a video because technically this was like, not only was it kind of expected, but Najee Jeter, the voice actor for Miles Morales, spoiled it already 2 years ago. He was at a panel and he was answering questions about Spider-Man in general, and someone asked him if he was going to get the symbiote at any point in the game, and Najee responded, "They're going to be everywhere. They're everywhere." That's a direct quote. So people thought, oh, that means it's going to be like a Web of Shadows thing where they're like symbiote creatures all over the place. People ran with that for a little bit and then didn't think much of it because he also made a comment about co-op, and it turned out to be a single player game. But if you look at it, he probably was talking about the design of the game being cooperative, because it basically is a co-op game just without players.
A second person.
Yeah, like you can switch between Peter and Miles at any time. Peter or Miles, depending on who you're not controlling, are going to be out in the open world, and you can literally join them and they can join you. It's literally a co-op joining progress multiplayer game just without you being able to play with other people. But his comment about the stimulus being everywhere, 100% true, as verified by one of the trophies. So there's that. I won't get into the other stuff. Some of the spoilers were stuff that we speculated before. The giant one actually, surprisingly, was something that I predicted in a theory video a couple months ago. So I was patting myself on the back for that one. Can't wait to see how that one plays out. But even within that, we also got a look at another title screen. There's going to be multiple. So when you first start the game, you're basically going to have the Harry Osborn one, and after your first save, there is going to be a different title screen, and this is going to be that one.
Oh, I like that.
Yep, it is Peter and Miles, no mask on, and still don't like Miles's hair, but Peter's face I like.
We're not doing hair in another game, are we?
No, but the black hairstyle is important, and I don't like that one. But it is what it is. It's, the overall looks great. But so this was another title screen. So it's technically considered. I guess you could technically consider it a leak because even though they are technically allowed to post the title screens, but everyone
Maybe not that one.
Yeah, everyone have been posting basically the same Harry Osborn title screen. So this is technically a title screen. So maybe it falls in line. It's not technically a spoiler. It doesn't spoil anything about the game. And it is within the bounds of it being the title screen, which they are allowed to share. It just so happens to be an alternative of the title screen that was being widely shared. So Casual Avenger also, while he was eating his deep dish, apparently he told me a copy of Spider-Man 2 fell off the back of the truck. So if you want some exclusive Spider-Man 2 spoilers, hit up Casual Avenger. He will tell you everything you need to know for a small one-time fee.
But you have to pay him in deep dish.
Yeah, he only accepts deep dish as payment. So I think it's cool. But Insomniac themselves, of course, and kind of in anticipation for what we know is pretty much inevitable, said hey guys, don't spoil or be on the lookout for spoilers. They know it's pretty much unavoidable. This similar thing happened with Starfield. Starfield also put out their review codes pretty early, and just a bunch of stuff people who got codes were just uploading stuff. And we also had the guy who was literally stealing copies of Starfield from the warehouse and reselling them, and he decided to do a hands-on Starfield impression video, which got him caught. But Insomniac released the review codes a full 3 weeks before launch.
That's insane. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, this is a first for me. And not only that, but the review embargo date is 4 days before the actual game comes out. And in the case of Starfield, for example, they sent them out the codes out 2 weeks, but the review embargo date wasn't until pretty much hours before the players who pay for early access were going to be able to play it anyway.
Yeah, I think that's just a philosophy thing.
It's just a general thing. You see it a lot where companies basically are kind of hedging, like especially if they're maybe not sure. They basically don't want reviews to negatively impact sales, so they like to have the review embargo as close to that launch window as possible to like minimize any potential fallout.
I think that's definitely the case for a lot of games. I don't know that that's necessarily the case every single time somebody has it that close to release window. I think there are just some companies that's just their belief. Like we're seeing firsthand that there is still an old school versus the new school in the philosophies, and we're seeing that with the Spider-Man review codes. I know being in a bunch of programs that are content creator centric, that old school press still reigns supreme.
Of course.
If you're going to write an article, like I've seen pretty small websites get review codes before content creators that are like massively bigger.
Yeah. That's a whole. Yeah. This is actually the most egregious I've seen this time around. Like, because like not only because it's not like they didn't do anything for content creators before. Like,
right.
you had some content creators got limited edition controller and plates to promote, and then you had a bunch get flown out to LA and London to. I was one of the people that got the plates and the controller, and there you had other creators get flown out to London and LA to play the game. I was not one of those creators, and they got to play a demo. So you assume, okay, well, at least those creators would get the code, but none of them except Jor Raptor were given review codes, and I was shocked.
Does he have a website too, though?
Joy Raptor?
Yeah, I'm not like super familiar with him.
I don't know if he does. I know
I probably
Fextra
think
Life.
like Tech Raptor or something like that.
I know Fextra does. That's this spoiler. That's how he gets so many that's how they get so many Twitch views on their content. But nope, Joe Raptor does not. Joe Raptor is pretty much just YouTube, just pretty much the YouTube channel. Very huge YouTube channel. Has
Right.
multiple people working for him. But mainly they do walkthroughs and guides for games for the most part. So not surprising that he got a code because he was actually at the hands-on gameplay preview. But no one, not a single content creator who covers Spider-Man was given a review code, which is actually the first time that's happened since Insomniac has been making Spider-Man games. And not only that, like even creators who got to play the demo didn't. Like Hollow's got 4 million subs. He got the controller and the plates. He got the phone out to play the demo, but he didn't get a review code. But
I mean, I'm sure they'll get one, but
I don't think they will.
I don't know why they wouldn't, though.
This seems because unless they, because I'm thinking about it, like unless they're planning something, unless they either, like I was first thinking, okay, maybe because I was asking around because I was like, this is weird. Like Caboose didn't get it, Blitzwinger didn't get it. And I'm like, what's going on? No one at Sony, from what I know, is responding. My contact hasn't responded in a while. So I'm like, maybe this was like just their plan. They wanted to mainly have the review codes go to more traditional media, gaming press, just to make sure. Like
that's my answer.
Second wave. That's actually what Blitzwinger said. He thought it might be the case, but I'm wondering why. Like I was thinking, okay, if they were going to have it like, okay, media get their codes first, and then then the creators. Well, why would you have creators getting codes the same day? Like if the idea was like you're going to stagger them, okay, you have gaming media announce it first, and then the creators announce it. But you had both creators and gaming media announcing codes.
But very, very few creators, though, right?
Yeah, so far I was going through the people who just announced it on Twitter, and I counted 3 content creators. I think
one of them was in India.
Yeah, one of them was an Indian creator with like 20,000 subs.
Yeah, which is weird.
One of them was a PlayStation Playmaker. Again, small channel, like 10K subs, and the other was Joy Raptor.
Yeah,
700K subs.
My best guess, and what I would think would be the reason is they're getting it out to the press first, people that are not necessarily going to post a lot of video, to kind of mitigate the possibility of somebody going rogue and trying to be a hero. And then like maybe like 10 days out, you'll start to see content creators get a code. I can't imagine the content creators not getting the game a little early. I mean, I doubt I'm going to get it. They haven't responded to any of my emails, but I am on a warpath and a hunt to knock one off a truck. Not even wait for it to fall. Like I'm
just not. You're just gonna go full Payday 3.
We've been playing a little bit too much Payday 3. And by too much, we played it for like an hour.
Yeah, I couldn't matchmake, so I played the tutorial.
Yeah, that definitely let me off the hook a little bit there. So, because look, I mean, we could spend all the time we need to on Payday 3 right here and just say that it's okay, but not for me.
Yeah, not for me. But I do hope that's the case. Because even if they sent out a wave of codes 10 days out from the embargo, that's still plenty of time for content creators to play the game and come up with their first impressions. So so it's definitely possible that could be the plan. because they definitely don't want a Starfield situation where everyone pretty much everyone who got a Starfield code or was going to get Starfield code got it the same day, and then we just had chaos for the next 2 weeks with a new leak every day.
Yeah.
so
And I think that's the thing, and that's why it's so important for like people in our position when we do get these opportunities. You got to play by the rules. Look, you get these opportunities by proving to people that you're dependable, that you're trustworthy. Because I know people say a lot of things about leaks. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. We're just going to see it anyway. Blah blah blah. But no, it's not. It's not up to you. It's up to them. It's their product. It's their decision. This is how they want to do it. That's how they're going to do it. And I feel like way too often, I think fans get like a little carried away and they make it all about them, and like it has to like be on their schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and regardless of whether or not I get a review code, I'm gonna I'm used to it, so I planned accordingly, and anyone who didn't, you'll still be able to react, like for example, just do a reaction to the reviews when they go live. Obviously, the advantage, the thing that you worry about is when a content creator is that when a content creator gets early access to a game, that gives them a pretty big competitive advantage because they'll have exclusive footage and everything before you. And in the case of people who got the game early, they'll be able to finish the game, avoid spoilers, and have like more content prepared. So if you're someone who has to wait until launch, then this becomes like a kind of a scramble.
I mean, I have the game technically.
Technically,
like I just have to scratch my code.
He's got his digital code.
So I mean, no matter what, I mean, I'll be ready to go at midnight. Hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully I'll be able to track down a copy. I have a friend that knows some people, and we're gonna see what we can do. If I do secure a physical copy before release, nobody will ever know about it.
Correct.
I am just gonna do it, play it, record it, and then when the embargo is up, I'll honor it, respect it, all of that.
Yeah, regardless, like it'd be great if I had the review code, but I know even if I can't review the game on embargo day, I'm still going to get mine, and as is usually the case. But my main concern is just having the game so I can record that footage and have like content ready to go starting from the ground. So if I could somehow get a copy of the game early, that'd be my priority. Just making sure I can record content. I'm not even particularly worried about the review stuff, especially since pretty much no content creator is going to have it anyway. but I think at the end of the day, especially if you're a content creator who's disappointed, I say take the long view and just appreciate the fact that regardless, you're going to get to play Spider-Man 2 in 3 weeks.
Yeah,
you're still going.
You're
still fine.
That's my thing. I see a lot of content creators like, I get it. Okay, everybody wants to have the early access. I don't think of myself that way. There are definitely, I can see why. I don't have any context there because everybody wants to work with Sony. Everybody wants this game early. But there are people that like, and I've seen it not necessarily just in this case, but like there are people that get really upset when they don't get a review code and they don't have like a massive following, not even like a small following in a lot of cases. And I never understood that. Like I got declined this week for Phantom Liberty. The only thing that upset me about it was that it was 2 days after it came out. I would have liked to have known like that day, because like I have no problem buying it. I just, I don't care about, like, obviously getting stuff for free is great. No doubt about it.
Love
okay.
it.
But I'm more interested in access. Like if I could pay Sony, like I'm already paying Sony for the collector's edition, right? So like I would pay that price just to get it early. Like, and I wish there was like programs that you could sign up for where like instead of asking for a review code, you're paying for your review code, and you're going to be more protective of it in that case, and you're going to honor the embargoes and everything more in that case because that could be cut off at any time.
Well, don't give anybody, don't give companies ideas. This could turn into an old Twitter blue checkmark situation where it's like $500 for a review code.
I mean, you've got to obviously meet some criteria and stuff like that, but there's no two ways around it. Like in the grand scheme of things, long term, is it going to be that big of a deal? Not necessarily, but like I knew that last night, or I thought I knew that this morning they were going to be dropping a Shang Tsung announcer voice and a Scorpion Deadly Alliance skin pack in Mortal Kombat 1. Well, they actually ended up releasing it last night. Like it accidentally got released early. So I was out when it happened, but I came right home. I made the videos right away. And because of that, like one of them, the Shang Tsung announcer voice is like sitting at 34,000 views, and the Scorpion is like at 13,000 views. And like, would that have happened if I had waited until the morning to do it? I don't know. Probably not. Somebody else might have gotten those early views. And it is very much in a lot of cases a matter of like being first to market. Does that mean it will like have traction forever? I don't know. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It is a very much a copycat world. I've had situations where I'll post something and then everybody copies it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or you post it, someone live reacts and gets more views.
That happens way too much. No,
that's great. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's a hate the game, not the player kind of situation.
Yeah.
I don't blame people that do it. I don't blame people that do it, but like it's frustrating to see that like you get this. I get this opportunity to go play Mortal Kombat right in Chicago, and I come home. I'm excited. When I've gotten this opportunity before, I got hundreds of thousands of views. Like when I went to the Mortal Kombat reveal, like those videos, I think got like 300,000-400,000 views, and they were just basic matches, right?
Right.
And I didn't get anywhere near that this time, and I was concerned and I was a little frustrated. And then I started seeing my video like everywhere, and I was like, God damn,
it's nature of the beast. It's more competitive now, and you just probably also didn't have the right YouTube face in the thumbnail. So there's always that.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But it's always great to have the access. But I look at it like, okay, well, I'm one of those people who do live streams and react to stuff if I don't get the access to it, and that's my way of making up for being denied those opportunities. And I think it's all fair. You get first dibs, you get the access, and I get to react to it, and we're all still winning at the end of the day. good strategy. But I'm looking at it like, okay, well, even if I don't get Spider-Man 2 early, I'm still going to play the game when it comes out, and I'm still going to make content about it before and after. And at the end of the day, I'm in a position where even if I'm not privileged enough to get the early access, I'm still privileged enough to be a full-time content creator. And I try to, and as disappointing as it can be to not be, to be overlooked or feel like you're not recognized for opportunities, at the end of the day, I'm still grateful for the position that I'm in. So that's why when I found out, when I saw that initial list of people getting reviews and realized I wasn't getting one, I was like, it's disappointing, but it's fine. It's something that I expected. I didn't take for granted getting the controller and the plates. I was grateful for that. So I'm like, well, at least I got some acknowledgement, and it's not a big deal. I'm still the second biggest channel covering Spider-Man 2. It's been a tremendously successful year. I just closed a very, very lucrative brand deal for next week, for next month. So I'm like, I get paid, more money than I've ever made working a normal job to talk about video games. So even if I don't get early access Spider-Man 2, I can't complain too much. I'm doing okay. It's not, and I'm going to get to play Assassin's Creed Mirage early, so it's not it's not the end of the world. You gotta look on the bright side and just kind of count your blessings and not get too frustrated, because I know a lot of content creators, anytime there's an opportunity that they don't get, we saw this when those plates and controller free gifts started popping up, people getting salty. It's like, that's not the way to approach it. Just be happy for people who got the opportunity and just continue to do your thing, because eventually it'll happen. This whole thing has taught me even more that nothing is guaranteed. I mean, if even Hollow doesn't get a review code, like, nobody is safe. Nobody should.
Remember that dude that like lost his shit that I got a Starfield jacket?
Yeah, like,
it's like,
and you weren't even, you didn't even get your New York Comic-Con pass like you always get.
Yeah. It's like, listen, you win some, you lose some. It is what it is. You just got to kind of keep on riding the horse, and you're going to get some opportunities, and sometimes they're not going to pick you. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's more, the more you spend time in this industry, the more especially as a content creator, nothing's guaranteed. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some.
And the biggest thing you have to remember is they owe us nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Is it good? Is it good marketing? Absolutely. Do they have to do that? No. Like,
we're a dime a dozen, man. Yeah, like, honestly, like, everybody wants to do this. Like, there are so many people that do it, of varying sizes. Yeah. And like, it is what it is. Like, they have their ideas, and sometimes these ideas are formulated way in advance, and there's not enough wiggle room for anything that might change along the way. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so it is what it is. Like,
and it could be just a matter of perspective. Like, will the Spider-Man 2 get a lot more reach on Hollow's channel with 4 million active subscribers than a gaming website with maybe 10,000 monthly viewers? Absolutely. But that blog is going to contribute to the Metacritic score, and Hollow's is not. So that could be another way of looking at it. So it doesn't. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I'm sure Hollow is not crying about it, especially if the theory turns out to be true, and they're basically just waiting until later, to start sending out codes to content creators.
I really think that this is they're hedging their bets, and it's just they're playing it safe. Like, I bet they trust all these content creators. Obviously, I would imagine Joraptor, they just, like, listen, his name speaks for itself. He's done this a long time. He's established himself. And, I'm sure, like, maybe there are some people that got the codes and they just didn't feel the need to brag about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, a Skill Up we found out Skill Up was at the preview event, and I don't think he didn't even make a post about it. He also didn't accept Sony's money to fly out there, so that could be a part of it. But
always accept the money. Like, I'm sorry, you're not
just take the money.
You're not proving anything, bro. I mean, good for you. I'm glad you're well off enough that you can do that, but you can pay for my flight.
JayShockblast is taking the money.
Yeah, I don't have any lucrative brand deals, like, I mean, yeah. So
yeah, lucrative brand deals are great. It's always great to not, because that was one of my goals with content creation. Once I realized I could do it full time, not especially after YouTube pulls some, will occasionally pull some nonsense. You want to make sure that you're not entirely reliant on YouTube ad revenue.
Yeah.
So,
because you never know when a human review can demonetize. No, actually, all right. So I woke up yesterday and I'm like, I've got this yellow icon on my video, And I'm like, what the fuck? That's the first time I've sworn on YouTube since this happened, by the way.
Right.
And I'm reading it and like I'm like, I was careful in this video because like I have another video that got I only had two shockingly, I've only had two Mortal Kombat videos get yellow icons, not even demonetized altogether, but just age gated essentially.
Right.
Okay. And the one that got age gated was my XP video. And all right, look, I was punching people's heads off and they were bleeding everywhere.
Makes sense.
I can't do anything about that. I can't appeal it. Fine. Okay. So I was so careful this time not to include anything like that in the video and just talk about what I was there to talk about. And I was only showing characters. I most certainly did not swear even once
Not at all.
because I was already like, I wasn't worried about it, but like I knew that I was criticizing the game and I can be very critical, but I try to be professional in my criticism so that I'm not like some ranting, raving maniac, you know? And they said that it was age gated because of swearing in the thumbnail, title, or in the video, like excessive swearing. And I'm like, I did not swear one time at all in any of those places.
Except for the very end when you call Warner Brothers a bunch of fucktards.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's something I would do. You know, because Warner Brothers is like literally a year ago yesterday, I was at WB Games Montreal. Like, they've been great to me. Like, I would never do that. That's why I'm always, especially, so professional in the way that I present my criticism. Very careful because look, it's not like being bought or a shill to take a step back and make sure you're like not just being a dick. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I know that gets you more views sometimes, but you know, when you start working with these people in these companies and you go to these places and you meet these people, it will change you. It cannot not change the way you feel about the situation because these are real people and you know and see their real life and the things that they do and how hard they work, you know, and it will change you. It just does. You can't help it. There's no two ways around it. All right. So like just being professional is a generally safe rule of thumb. And that's what I was. And I was actually shocked YouTube creators even responded to the tweet, let alone had it rectified within an hour.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before. I know Joseph Whitty, he had problems because he had a bunch of like 5-year-old streams that kept getting community guideline strikes.
Yeah,
and he got one of them. He got one of them appealed. He appealed to YouTube creators, and one of them they were like, "Yep, that was a mistake," so they fixed it. But other one they couldn't help him with, so he ended up just deleting pretty much everything. And so they can be a good resource sometimes, but it definitely never should have happened in the first place. That's definitely I could 100% tell you that a human did not manually review that and decide, oh yeah, Jay's definitely letting them fly, so we gotta hit him with one. So yeah, that's why it's very important to not put all your eggs in one basket, and that's why I've been expanding and looking to make money outside of YouTube so that I wouldn't, so even if whatever happened, monetization wasn't what it needed to be, I still have something to fall back on. Like, so pretty much October, no matter what happens, I'm gonna be making a lot of money regardless of the YouTube revenue. So that's always a good feeling to have. And it's something I definitely recommend any creator that's trying to be serious about this look into, because it's definitely a peace of mind and just good business. And as
I married well.
He married well. So, you marry yourself a woman that makes good money, get brand deals, whatever you gotta do, make sure you diversify your revenue sources.
Yeah.
Very important.
Get you a wife that wants you to be home to cook dinner every night.
Damn right. Speaking of which, what you cooking me, Jay?
Friday night is go to the in-laws house night, so we had Chinese food.
Ooh, Chinese food. I had rotisserie chicken that I had ordered yesterday and didn't eat.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I also got a shout out to Capcom. I'm also a Capcom creator. They gave me a nice little discount code for DoorDash because I live streamed the Tokyo Game Show Capcom presentation. Yeah, so nice little bonus.
I have used DoorDash twice in my life.
Same actually.
And both times I was in LA, two separate times. The first time I was in LA for E3, and I didn't know where to go for food that night. Like I didn't know where I was. And I don't even remember what I door dashed. I
I don't remember. I usually do Uber Eats, but
one of them, you know what I mean?
yeah, I usually do Uber Eats, but that's why I didn't do DoorDash. But now I have an actual reason to do DoorDash. I think I'm deciding what to get. I was going to just default and get Chick-fil-A, but I might get some a little more exotic. I saw this really cool Indian place, so I might give it a shot.
Yeah, the second time was I think I did Jack in the Box, also in LA. That time for the Mortal Kombat reveal.
Holy shit, you're a tourist.
No, listen, I when I lived in Seattle, we had Jack in the Box like right by the house, and I just remember loving it, and I needed Jack in the Box.
Fair enough.
And I hadn't had it since like 2001.
Yep. Only 1,000 Spider-Man videos. You're lowballing me, Eastwood. No. So the amount of Spider-Man 2 videos will definitely depend on how early I get the game, because once the floodgates are open, that kind of puts a limit on it, and there's only so many things that's even worth making. Like I plan on doing live streams, of course. I might consider doing like a traditional let's play. We'll see how it goes, but you can do guides and trophies. I know a lot of people are going to be doing. I'm trying to think of, if I'm not getting the game early, I'm going to think of just in general types of videos that people aren't going to immediately make, because I know people are immediately going to be doing walkthroughs, and obviously they're going to be doing the best skills to upgrade, and they're going to be reposting the boss fights and everything like that. So I'm trying to stand out a little bit more, trying to get in on some stuff that isn't going to be immediately posted.
Yeah, I have a game plan. I've always thrived on showing people how to do things.
Yeah.
And I think that's what my main focus is going to be, because listen, everybody's going to be posting their walkthroughs, their levels and all that. And that's great. Don't get me wrong. I've had some of those videos do well before too, but it's tough,
Yeah, if you don't have that dedicated audience, it's probably not going to go as well. So I might test the waters on it, but I think that's why I'm probably going to prioritize a live stream instead of just doing a walkthrough. But yeah, definitely the one thing I definitely want to post about is that Spider-Verse side quest that Caboose talked about. I definitely want to race to finish that one, because I think that's going to be just fun. I want to know who's leaving the spider bots, but I think also that'll be good content as well. people would be interested to seeing. And obviously you want to do some suit gameplay. I'm going to do a little bit of that, unlock all the suits, do a suit unlock tutorial, or just all suit video. Got to do that. That's the JayShockblast special. Every suit, every character got to have that.
Yep, that's definitely, like, I mean, my best Miles video is the reprogrammable matter suit. I think that has like 250,000 views.
Humble brag. But it's not all good news, unfortunately.
Are you trying to make a grown man cry?
Yes, I am, because it's time, Jay, to talk about your favorite upcoming game that probably isn't going to happen. Knights of the Old Republic is looks like it's dead in the water, Jay. It's another victim of what I coined on Twitter the embracing, where where the Embracer Group's fallout continues to impact. Like I knew this was a possibility, but this is looking a little inevitable. So for those who know, the Embracer Group is basically having a bit of a meltdown. They were expecting they of course are famous for buying Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal from Square Enix for $300 million. They are the ones that decided to permanently destroy Marvel's Avengers. They, they own Volition, who did the very popular Saints Row reboot, and well, before they closed Volition down, and after we heard about all the problems with the Knights of the Republic remake, we heard that the Embracer Group had basically transferred ownership to another one of their studios, which was rumored to be Saber Interactive. And we basically hadn't heard anything about it since. And now, after all these Embracer Group problems because of that $2 billion investment that they lost, they've been canceling projects, closing studios, firing a bunch of people. Crystal Dynamics recently reported firings as a result of the Embracer Group. And now it looks like Knights of the Republic is basically cooked. So people first started noticing that just a bunch of old tweets and videos posted officially for Knights of the Republic were being removed online, and people immediately were like, what's happening? why is this happening? And people immediately start speculating that's because they were just basically shutting the project down. Now Sony released a statement saying that they hid the trailer because, quote, as part of normal business, we delist assets with licensed music when the license expires. So basically they're saying the music that they had in Knights of the Republic trailers those licenses expired, and that's why
I'll buy it.
they trailer. That's bullshit for several reasons. First of all, it doesn't address the tweets that they also got rid of, but also if you're making a Knights of the Old Republic game, you have license to not only the Star Wars property that you're adapting, but the music, which is Star Wars music. And we haven't seen any other Knights of the Republic stuff that's online get delisted or removed.
This would highlight a very huge problem that I don't believe exists. If you have to like take down trailers because the music in the trailer, like a license expires, no, you were licensed to use it in that trailer. That trailer, once it is posted and exists, it exists forever. You can't just take it away retroactively. That's not a thing.
Yeah, so there was a change to the YouTube system where they basically made it so that you can use copyrighted music by purchasing the license. And it basically, so instead of usually in the past, if you posted a video with copyrighted music, you would lose all the ad revenue on that video to the copyright holder. But they made it so that either you would share the revenue, or you could specifically pay to have that license for a set amount of time. It does not cause any problems where the trailer would be removed. So even if the license expired on the music, they wouldn't have to get rid of it. Otherwise, all the Knights of the Republic stuff would have been taken down as well. And again, they're Sony. They're making the game. It's supposed to be an exclusive. If there was a issue with the license, they could just renew it. They wouldn't have to take anything down. They're making the game. They have a Star Wars license. So this, to me, combined with the fact that they removed old tweets, they also were reached out to for comment about exactly what's been going on. If they this is Mike Straw. He's a reporter for Insider Gaming. That's Tom Henderson's. And he asked Embracer and Saber Active what the status of Knights of the Republic remake is, and they declined to comment. So that, combined with all the old tweets and videos getting, it looks like it's inevitable that Embracer is going to come out and say that the Knights of the Old Republic remake project is getting shelved due to their ongoing financial struggles. And that's going to be the end of that, unfortunately, because it's something I thought would happen. Like someone was wondering if Embracer might get into the Marvel business, but at this point, I'm like, well, because they're hemorrhaging money and they're trying to they're even considering just selling studios and stuff, trying to get back on track. There's no way they would take on a licensed game. That's why I already thought Knights of the Republic remake was probably getting shelved before all this broke, but after now it's like I would think they would want to get it out there because it has high earning potential, but it is a licensed game, which means it's risky and maybe it's not far along in development as we thought. So it would be more costs, and they're just in the short term trying to not spend a lot of money on stuff. So they're probably prioritizing like original IPs that don't have licensing costs or splits associated with it.
I've heard some things. Before that, let me share. You have to understand, this is my favorite video game of all time. Okay. Yep. And this was my reaction. I don't hear. All right. Lucasfilm Games. Watch my reaction.
This is a JayShockblast special.
Peace is alive.
Look how young he looked.
It was 2 years ago.
looks 10 years ago.
Yo, if you tell me, oh my God, is that Darth Revan?
Power. Now they wield it. We face the greatest Sith in generations.
Oh my God, it's Knights of the Old Republic!
We must be stopped.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that happy face.
Like I don't react that way very often. Like I'm usually pretty composed, but like I saw that coming. Like I knew that shape. So like I freaked out there, man. I was so what I've heard is so I heard they got the license to do the game. They had something like made out to do it, and they gave it to Aspire. They then started looking for funding to fully make the game, and they went to Xbox first. And apparently Xbox and Aspire do not have a good relationship.
Yeah.
And they declined. So then they went to PlayStation, and PlayStation heard Star Wars, and they said yes. So then they started putting everything together, and they brought it to PlayStation, and PlayStation was like, what the fuck is this? So they sent them back to the drawing board, and that's when chaos started at Aspire.
Yeah.
And that led to, I guess, a mutiny. I don't know, something like that. Like people were moved, people were let go, and then the game shifted allegedly to Saber Interactive. So it's troubled, to say the least.
Yes.
I've like kind of given up the thought of it. I just, look, I understand like we look at Wonder Woman, right? Wonder Woman got announced the same night, and we've seen just as much of Wonder Woman since then as we have Knights of the Old Republic. But I'm not worried about Wonder Woman because like there's nothing like
their studio isn't burning down around it.
Right.
and they've been hiring. So we also got recently the concept art. So we know the project exists. We know is actively hiring people, so it's healthy. We know Warner Brothers, their movie division, another story, but their game division is doing okay. They're not currently having a fire sale, so we're assuming that project is okay. But Knights of the Republic,
you see my huge Jin Sakai back here, right? Like I have a Revan and a Malik that make that look small, like those. That's like, I mean, I literally have. I'm not gonna grab them because I want to knock stuff over, but like I literally have 3 Revan Funko Pops, a Malik, and a Basila, like all right here on my desk.
He has way more 19 inches of Revan.
Yeah, way more than 19 inches of Revan. And to be fair, for some people, Revan is a girl, so that's another debate for another day.
Well, people enjoy that too. So
well, it's one of those BioWare games where like you create your own character, and a lot of people created themselves as a female. There was debate for a long time what canon was. It has been decided that canon is that Revan is a male and the Jedi Exile is a female. So that's from Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Nerd.
But yeah. Anyway, but like seriously though, like, is it possible that something can like turn around? Sure. I think it's far more likely that Embracer drops it.
This project's cooked, bro.
I think Embracer loses it and hopefully somebody else picks it up. I saw some weird shit today too, though. Like a lot of people are saying that they want Larian to do it, who did Baldur's Gate 3,
right?
And that would be perfect because Knights of the Republic is a turn-based game. Gameplay didn't necessarily age well. A lot of people do not like turn-based Marvel's Midnight Suns. But
this card game is different.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, Larian did a great. Baldur's Gate 3 is really good, and it's really good at what it is. But like, I saw some like Struggler Bry tweeted something earlier about somebody that's like, no, they should basically make an entirely new video game for me because I want this to be an action game. I don't like turn-based, and because it's not for me, it should just be made a different way.
Someone said they should literally take the profits they made and make a DLC where it's real-time combat.
How are you going to tell some company how to like spend the money that they made on the video game that they made exceptionally well? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not going to knock a game for being what it is. That was their vision. It's not. I do agree that it would be more accessible if it was real-time combat, but they did plenty well just doing the turn-based route. So I don't think they have any regrets in that regard. It's just a matter of preference. Like it worked out for Baldur's Gate, didn't quite work out for Midnight Suns. It is real turn-based combat is still a relatively niche thing. It does have its audience, but if that audience isn't all in on what you're selling, then you are in fact limiting your potential reach, because you're not going to reach the more casual gamers or people who just don't like that style are not going to buy it, and the people who I think like more real-time combat, I think do outnumber the people who prefer those slower turn-based strategic type of games for the most part.
And the thing is with Baldur's Gate 3, I haven't played a ton of it, but like what I did play, for the amount of time I did play it had to have been a Dungeons and Dragons player's like video game wet dream. Okay. Like it literally felt like you were sitting around the table with your dungeon master narrating the game. You were rolling a die. So like you were constantly doing actual 20-sided die rolls. And like the way the game is narrated is just so unique and so original. And it could only work this well for a Dungeons and Dragons game.
Absolutely.
And I just feel like I appreciate that there are people that are getting into that because of this, but like, it's not your play. Like, I'm tired of the entitlement with gamers.
Absolutely.
Thinking that they could just step in and say, this is because I want it this way, it should be this way. And if it's not, it's dog shit. Like, you know what? I'm mad I can't pet the dog in Tetris. Okay. Like, so fuck Tetris.
Yeah, like there's certain things where you can say where some games maybe leave something on the table, like Stray, for example. I thought was a really great game, but I thought it left a lot on the table in terms of replayability and the lack of customization. But it still was fun. But that's not like asking them to fundamentally change the game. You have people who, famously the multiplayer is bad crowd, who anytime a game wants to do something multiplayer, it's immediately, why can't it just be single player? And like you saw this ridiculous thing. We saw it pop up again with Suicide Squad, because it's like, because literally, even though you don't have to play the multiplayer, you can, if you're just one of those people who only want to play a single player story driven experience, you can do that. They said that at the state of play, you can play the entire story campaign solo with AI companions, and people were still like, "Oh, they should remove the multiplayer." Like, literally, why?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't understand that whatsoever. Like, you're telling me that because like you could just play the game by yourself with your AI companions, like that no one else should have the opportunity to like play with your friends. Like, fuck that, man. Like, there's nothing cooler to me. Like, that was one of the best things about Avengers. Hey, we're squatting up. There's 4 of us. We're having a good time just playing together. Like, that was awesome. Like, why wouldn't you want to like to do that? And if like it just like Avengers, you didn't have to, you know? I don't know. We've literally already seen it.
I think those people just are lonely and just want everyone to be as miserable as they are, because it makes no sense otherwise. It's literally literally a separate experience. Like, if you're the type of player who only wants to play a game story once and leave, you can literally do that with Suicide Squad. Why do you want to take stuff away from other players like that?
I'm starting to see it a little bit in Mortal Kombat, and listen, it is a little bit of a valid critique because Mortal Kombat does have
be careful. You don't want to get this video flag for profanity.
Mortal Kombat does have a shockingly low level of customization options. Like, yeah, each character currently has like, I don't know, 12 different palettes, but like each character really only has like 2 skins, except Scorpion, Johnny, and Sub-Zero. So there's not a lot of customization there, and they are now starting to come out with, you know, more paid skins, but like they've always done that. So, but at the same time, they've always had a little bit more available from the get-go. But at the same time, they're having seasons where there's a seasonal store that you can buy skins for free, and each character had at least 2 or 3. So like it's tough to say, you know what I mean?
There you go again, though. Live service. That's another buzzword. Can't have it.
It's a podcast, so it's not like a normal stream. So like we're not intentionally.
Yeah. If this is your first podcast, let me explain how it works. So in our normal live stream where it's just one person, you will play, you'll do whatever, you'll react to the chat in real time. In a podcast where you have an active, ongoing conversation, you can't read the chat all the time, because literally you would not be able to get through any topic.
Yeah. Don't take it personally. We see you and we appreciate that you're here. And every so often you will see us, highlight. Oh, my bad. I'm new. Well, we appreciate you being here.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where, you know, it's a podcast. We are on Apple Podcast,
Amazon,
Spotify, Amazon, all of them. You know what I mean?
All that stuff.
So yeah.
So we'll pop in. Obviously, super chats take priority if you want to do that. But yeah, otherwise we'll highlight in-stream comments, but we're not going to read every chat, because it will mess up the flow of the conversation. But like this one is actually relevant to what we were actually talking about.
Yeah.
The suggestions are great. Demanding the devs to shit can a game or change it like a fast food order is entitlement. 100% order, and holy is gaming getting entitled, especially in the social media era.
Yeah, like everybody has a hot take, you know, and it's like everybody like it's like you have to like cater it like specifically, and it's like, you know, I want Marvel Snap to be a first person shooter, you know. Like I like first person shooters, and why can't Marvel Snap be that? Why does it have to be a card game?
Yeah,
that's how stupid it sounds.
And I personally did want Midnight Suns to be a third person action game, even though I did end up loving it, but based on the premise and the sales, I think it definitely would have been better as a third person action game.
But like, I feel like they knew what they were getting into. Like, I feel like they knew the market, and they're like, this is the type of video game we make. And just like Marvel Snap is a card game, and just like Contest of Champions is a mobile fighting game.
I feel like Marvel Snap was like a pure card.
Yeah.
Like it'd be weird. Like it'd be weird to think of that as
no.
anything,
I know. I say that to be ridiculous. Like like
as extreme as that, because Midnight Suns, it had like RPG elements where you can like where it was like third person, you can explore the grounds, and you had that whole thing. You had like really cool looking fighting when they did have when you did animate the attacks during this turn-based combat. So I felt like that would be more a reasonable request, especially since it didn't end up being a Baldur's Gate level success.
And I get that, and in the heart wants what it wants. Like we all see those character models, and we're like, oh, this would be great. We love these characters. We would love to play a video game that way. But the reality is that studio is known for making their turn-based strategy games. They came to Marvel and said, listen, you guys don't have a game like this, and we would love to be the ones to do it. And for better or worse, that's what they did. And like suggesting the game is bad because you don't like that play style was always just ridiculous to me. Now, keep in mind, I am a 2K Next maker. I was sponsored by Marvel's Midnight Suns. They paid me cash money. That was a case. No duffel bag. It was just over the internet.
This time, but usually it's in a garage with paper bags. But
I legitimately loved that game, and I was so excited to see like people like you that
I'm not a 2K Next maker. I was not paid any money to play Midnight Suns, but I did love it.
Right, and that I think was so cool, and they could have made a third-person action adventure RPG game like Insomniac, but that's not
or like a modern X-Men Destiny.
Yeah, but like that's not what they chose to do. They are a turn-based strategy game company. That's what they do.
And they did it. Unfortunately, it wasn't the biggest hit as I thought it should be, because I felt like when it comes to Marvel, if it's not on mobile, people have certain expectations when it comes to console, especially since there's kind of I feel like there's kind of a void, especially when it comes to hero games, because obviously people were hoping Marvel's Avengers was going to be that thing that that tied over Marvel fans, like this big, the answer to Marvel Heroes and Ultimate Alliance is this big console game where you have all your favorite heroes and you can play with your friends and you have this ever expanding roster. And when that completely imploded, it left a big hole in the market, because the only other consistent superhero games that are coming out, since Rocksteady has been on hiatus for almost a decade, is Insomniac, and those are amazing, but those are very specific, grounded single player Spider-Man adventures, and we just haven't had that big superhero team up experience. People were hoping Gotham Knights would be something, and they were disappointed by that. But when it comes to Marvel, there's nothing. People want to have a Marvel game where they can play with multiple Marvel heroes and just beat up some Batmans. And unfortunately, we're still waiting.
Did we forget about that amazing Nintendo Switch exclusive Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3?
Yes, we did, because no one cares about Switch except Nintendo people.
It was like honestly the only reason I had a Switch. But now I play the Pokemon games on it, and now my niece is like ready to kneecap me every time I show up at Friday night family dinner without my Switch.
I remember my days of the Game Boy Advanced and Game Boy Color. Pokemon was addictive back then.
Yeah, I keep meaning to go back to Pokemon Scarlet because the first DLC came out, and I don't want to like move in my game until I can get back to that. And I keep leaving the Switch at home like 3 weeks in a row. And my niece is like, "Did you bring the video games?" I'm like, no, I'm working on something. So
typical niece. Speaking of season 2, are you going to be watching the new season of Loki?
Yeah, I actually I'm probably one of the very few people that did this. Haven't even opened it yet. Look at that.
Oh, look at
Steelbook Loki season 1.
Actually, speaking of props, I actually have a pretty relevant prop that I should that I'm going to run downstairs and go get real quick. So
All right.
hold the show down.
All right. What do you want to talk about? At least I got left with something pretty cool. Yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance had a really good roster. It was, and Willie is right. The game was borderline unplayable without friends. It was absolutely the wrong platform to put it out on too. I would love to see a Marvel Ultimate Alliance 4 that is cross-platform, that it's on all the platforms. I think they were on the right track with that game. That game had a good story. It had some good things to do. But like at the end of the day, like the Switch is an awful multiplayer platform. So that's why most people barely even know that it exists. But I mean, I remember Willie and I playing all the time. And as long as you had one real person with you, it was so much fun. And it did have like Capte said, it did have a really deep roster of characters to choose from. But I'm right there with you, Capte. We need that Ultimate Alliance 4. I feel like that's the exact game a lot of people are really looking for when it comes to Marvel. He's back, but he's frozen. Oh, that's never good. He'll be back. So yeah, the AI was dumb. But I don't know, man. Like that's another one that I heard that Marvel went to Xbox and they declined. So like when we get frustrated, when Xbox fans get frustrated that there's a Spider-Man game and it's only on PlayStation, Uncle Phil has always done really well for us, but I don't know. It's just weird that he hasn't necessarily done anything when it comes to the licensed, Marvel properties. X-Men Legends 3, agree with you completely, Ace. That would be a great game. I actually, back there in my collection, I have X-Men Legends 1 and 2 for the original Xbox, but they're not backwards compatible, and I really wish they were. Really wish the devs that made Diablo 2 to remake X-Men. Yeah, dude, there's such a place for those games now. You know what I mean? Rumor was that it wouldn't have even happened if not for Nintendo stepping in. Yeah, that's the rumor that I've heard over the years as well. So I look, it takes two to tango, right? In order for these games to be made, like Marvel has to find somebody to do it. Somebody has to want to do it. Sometimes it's just a matter of like let's look at Knights of the Old Republic. First game was made by BioWare Obsidian, right? So like, is it possible that like now that it's kind of off the rails that like they go to Obsidian and say, hey, do you want to remake this? And they're gonna say, hey, we're working on like 5 other games right now. We just don't have time for it, and it's not always a matter of like, hey, anybody should do this. Anybody should want to do this. It's what do we got going on? Can we do it? All right, he's back.
I'm back. Chrome crashed because Chrome sucks. Firefox all day.
Really interesting. I like Chrome, but I actually have I have it worked out where I have Chrome that I do certain things in, and then I have Firefox that I do certain things in.
The only reason I'm using is because certain stuff isn't compatible with Firefox for some reason.
Right.
Like StreamYard. So even though it should be, but mine's isn't working.
All right. Now I'm dying to see what you got to show us.
Okay. So in honor of this final week of Marvel's Avengers, I went on Amazon and got this.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Just arrived yesterday.
How much did that set you back?
It was like $70, $60.
Less than I paid for it.
For the
that's actually a nice collector's edition though.
Small price to play for for history. I was like, you know what? Avengers getting delisted. I can already see attitudes towards it shifting a bit. So maybe in a few years, people will think differently about it. But I was like, I want to, regardless, have a physical reminder of my time with the game.
Right there is the group photo. It's just like a postcard basically that comes in it, but I have it framed and it's like right there. So
beautiful. Well, now I will forever have this piece of Avengers history, the full PS4 collector's edition, the Earth Mightiest Heroes. it's got the Avengers Day group photo, the 12-inch, not 19 inches of, you got 12 inches of Captain America. You got the Hawk bobblehead, Avengers pin, the Mjolnir keychain, Black Widow belt buckle, the Steel book, and the Iron Man prototype blueprints. I thought it was a good deal.
Yeah, I was like literally just looking at the belt buckle because I have it in my little drawer over there. But yeah,
completely unopened.
I don't know what you had planned. Not even the seal broken.
Nope.
I don't know what you had planned, but something as far as next, but something that just popped up today.
We got breaking news. Let's do it.
The arrest of the man who allegedly murdered Tupac Shakur.
Really?
You didn't hear about that?
No, they arrested the CIA operative that killed him.
I don't know who this person is, but there was an arrest made today in the death of Tupac Shakur. Let's
according to some people, Tupac is living in Cuba.
Yeah. Let's see. Present, share screen. All right.
Yeah, something. If they're releasing this, something crazy must have happened because they're trying to distract us.
Tupac Shakur. Oh God, is this one I can't even read? Dang it!
Nice one, Jay.
It's
from Bloomberg. Yeah, they have a paywall on all their stuff.
I'm sure it's on TMZ.
Of course. Just get through all the thoughts.
Yeah.
All
that New York weather.
All the riots and the naked celebrities.
Yeah, what is going on in your city?
It's literally a Tuesday. Someone sent me a video of the riots. I'm like, it's literally just a Tuesday. that's just what happens in Philly.
How is there? Oh, there we go. Tupac, man indicted for 96 Vegas murder update. Tupac Shakur sisters Sakua Set shared a statement TMZ saying, "This is no doubt a pivotal moment. The silence of the past 27 years surrounding this case has spoken loudly in our community. It's important to me that the world, the country, the justice system, and our people acknowledge the gravity of the passing of this man, my brother, my mother's son, my father's son. His life and death matters and should not go unsolved and unrecognized. So yes, today is a victory, but I will reserve judgment until all facts and legal proceedings are complete." This is the guy, Dwayne Keefe Davis.
He's the alleged shooter.
Yeah. Law enforcement officials just held a press conference revealing Davis gave them reason to get back on the case in 2018 when he stated during interviews and eventually wrote a book detailing his involvement in the murder. Officials say once they executed a search warrant, they were able to present their new evidence to a grand jury who made the decision to indict Davis on one count of open murder with the use of a deadly weapon with a gang enhancement.
So he said he was involved.
Yeah.
In his book.
What? Like, yeah.
He wrote a book. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but come on. Even if this guy gets on the stand and says, "Yeah, I did it," even just based on his statement, it sounds like there were other people involved. You will not convince me that the CIA did not have Tupac Shakur killed. I will not accept any other outcome unless you're telling me the FBI did it, because I would also believe that because the FBI were responsible for the assassination of Martin Luther King. That was actually proven in court. It's not a conspiracy theory. So
I just listen. We're both old enough to remember that day. Well, I don't know about you actually.
It was 96.
96.
So I was let's see, I was
I was
8.
15.
I was 8.
I remember waking up and turning on MTV and seeing Kurt Loder, because that's where we got our news. We turned on MTV and then we knew that like once an hour that Kurt Loder would come on or someone like that, and they would tell us what's going on in the world of music.
No Twitter, no going on.
I remember that day distinctively. Tupac is my favorite rapper of all time. I freaking loved Tupac. So
yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I was definitely too young to be affected by his murder. For me, the celebrity death that hit me when I was young was Aaliyah. That's one where I was old enough to appreciate it, and that was devastating to me. Yeah, Tupac, I don't even remember it.
yeah,
I don't remember it. So, but yeah, I do remember. I remember Aaliyah dying, and I remember 9/11 because I was in school when it happened.
I very distinctively remember 9/11.
I remember partially because they didn't let us out of school that day.
Oh, really?
while it was happening.
I was in college. I had just gotten back from Seattle, so it was my second year in college, and I woke up.
Damn, Hoarder is old. Holy.
I woke up and I went on like a message board that I posted on, and I saw plane crashes in the World Trade Center. I'm like, that's weird. I feel like I would have heard about that. So I just turned around and I turned my TV on and put it on like CNN or something like that. And they were talking about it. And then literally within a minute, the second plane went into the building.
Jeez.
And I was just like, oh shit. So I ended up I had to work that night. I think I worked like 2 to 10, but I had class. I didn't go to class. I went to school because I lived off campus, and I went to the student center. There was like a commuter lounge where we all hung out, and all the people were there, and like the place was just packed. I'd never seen so many people. They had like a big screen TV in there, which in 2001, that's a lot.
Oh yeah.
And we all just sat there for hours, just like glued to it. One of my friends who ended up being my roommate in Florida, like years later, he moved down to Florida with us, and he's like, I'm going down there, like, because we're like about 3 hours north, and he's like, I need to see it for myself. If they need like blood donors, I can do that. I'm just, who wants to go? And I'm like, man,
Wow.
I'm like, I gotta work.
Holy.
Yeah. So I didn't go. And it's funny whoever says that about Dream Theater, because both Machine Head and Seven Dust had new albums out that day. And both of them, Seven Dust was actually a DVD retrospective. And for Machine Head, it was Supercharger. So before I went to work, I did go to Best Buy to try to get them. And I remember just feeling awkward. Like, I can't believe I'm at the store trying to buy like some of my favorite band stuff
while the country is under attack.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think at that point we kind of knew what was up. I mean, not 100%, but like I kind of felt like it was over at that point. But I'll never forget that feeling. And I saw Roderick's tweet, by the way.
I didn't even know the severity of it until I got home, because literally they treated it like it was like a fire drill or like a weather. Like, we were just in class, and I think it was English class. I was usually bored out of my mind, and our principal just came on the loudspeakers and just said, just an announcement. There's apparently been an attack on the World Trade Center. Classes will remain unchanged. That is all. And then we're just looking around. Like, I think everyone, even the teachers, looked like a little shaken, but all the students was like looking confused. like Like I think most of us didn't even know what the World Trade Center was. I was like, okay. And so we just went about our day. And when we got home, like I know when I got home, like everyone was glued to TV, everyone was freaking out. And they were wondering like why I was home late. And I was like, I just came right from school, and they're like, they didn't let you out of school. The country's under attack. I'm just looking at the news. I see they showed the replay footage of the planes hitting them. Like, oh shit. Anyway, I'm gonna play video games because at the time I was living in the hood, so I was used to a different level of danger every day. So planes hitting buildings, miles away didn't really hit me that hard because I think like a couple weeks ago some guy we knew had literally got shot like 8 times right like 10 like 20 feet from my doorstep. So I was just like, eh.
Well, it's crazy. Like one of those planes, like the third plane flew right over you, basically. Because like it crashed in Pennsylvania, right? Like in rural Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
it might have been the fourth plane because one of them hit the Pentagon, right?
Yeah, two hit the towers. One hit the Pentagon, and one crashed in a field in PA, or shot down, depending on who you believe.
Well, the anniversary was like 2 weeks ago, and I was just thinking about it. Like, it's 2023. It's been 22 years, and like there's a whole generation of people that are like, this is something they've only read about in the history books. And that's wild to me, like it's wild for how big a part of our lives it was for like pretty much my whole adult life, and like it just kind of goes to show that we're getting old. And I said
you're getting old. Yeah. I was still a child when it happened.
I mean, but still,
you're basically grown, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
You're getting old. I'm still young. I'm not there yet, but it definitely became a bigger deal as I got older. And it is weird because the things I mainly notice more is just the difference in the technology, because I basically lived through just all the various eras of technology. I remember having no internet. I remember having terrible dial-up internet. I remember the AOL disc. I remember when social media first started, when everyone had MySpace. I remember AIM. I remember when Facebook was mainly a thing for college kids. So I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I went from the Game Boy Color to the PS5. so it's just weird how, and I guess it's giving me more of appreciation for technology now, that I'll take everything for granted, because I remember how shitty it used to be and how much more convenient everything is now, especially with AI. I basically have my own virtual assistant that's like a super genius at all times. Especially actually ChatGPT actually just they finally fixed the internet plugin, and so now not only do I have ChatGPT just as normal ChatGPT, but it now has access to the internet, so it's even smarter. No, it's great. I love it. This is a time to be alive.
Yeah, it's definitely wild. I remember my first cell phone was like a literal brick,
Oh,
and now like
you had the drug dealer cell phone.
Dude, it was a Nokia. It was like just this big thing. It looked like a brick. It looked like
I remember from the old movies.
A countertop, basically. Like that was like the pattern on the phone.
I don't know how anyone carried those.
Yeah. So yeah, there's so many things like that, like
my first phone was a Nokia as well, but it was a flip phone.
No, mine didn't flip. Like I was lucky that I had like snakes on it. And no, that was actually not even my phone. That was my graphing calculator. It was like I had Drug Wars on my graphing calculator.
Eastwood had the phone where you had to spin it, or you had to spin it to get it to work.
Yeah, the Zach Morris phone.
Yeah, it was like zing,
Yeah.
zing.
My first console was the Atari 2600. We also had the Intellivision. My dad had a Tandy 1000 computer, and he would play Dungeons and Dragons. He would play Robotech. He had a couple other games. So yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, we had. I think our first system was the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, and yeah, I ended up basically carrying all the consoles in the house because I would get my mom to get me all the latest systems. So I would just basically rent them all. But computer games, I would play computer. I didn't really play computer games until like 5th grade when I moved to the suburbs. They had this computer where you can play during recess time. Where I forgot the game, but it was that it's not Centipede, but you controlled this like snake, and you had to navigate through like mazes and stuff.
Right.
And we used to play that. Used to play that all the time. I was absolutely obsessed with it. For not the Obama phones. Thankfully, I never got an Obama phone, but I was like stuck on the flip phone for like a long time. This was in my conspiracy theory days where I was like hesitant to upgrade to new technology. I was like, well, flip phone works perfectly fine, and I don't want the government spying on me. So I resisted getting a smartphone until eventually I was just like, until I realized, oh, they're watching me anyway. So if I'm on social media, I might as well just get a smartphone because it was also at a point where the technology had gotten so far advanced that it was actually more expensive to buy an old flip phone than to just get a new smartphone. So I was like, capitalism wins again. Gotta trade it my flip phone, my Nokia, my trusty Nokia flip phone, which never breaks, for one of those new smartphones. And I'm still on the Samsung S8, so that's been my rebel stance. I haven't upgraded to a new phone yet.
My first smartphone, I ended up getting a BlackBerry because I thought I had to have a BlackBerry.
Wait, were you actually a drug dealer, Jay?
No.
Not only did you have the giant cell phone and you had a BlackBerry, those are drug dealer purchases, Jay.
Listen, I had just started working at Bose, and
did you have a beeper too, Jay?
I never had a pager. No. I was like, oh, I got to get a BlackBerry, and then the iPhone came out, and I was like, oh, I don't want that. I have an iPod. What do I need an iPhone for?
Yeah, exactly.
So regrets.
I still feel the same way because I refuse to get an iPhone. I have a Mac. I have one of those Apple devices. I have a bunch that I don't use. Like when I was working for this tech startup, they just gave us like these iPod. What was it? iPod Airs or some shits. They gave us some
iPad Air.
No, it wasn't an iPad. It wasn't an iPad. It wasn't an iPad. It was one of the ones before that was like an upgrade over the iPhone. I forget what it was, but I barely used it. I used the iPod for a while, but after that, the only Apple product I rely on is the Mac. The Mac.
Yeah, I don't like Android. I just got like an Android tablet, mostly just to read comics and to play Pokemon Go on a second account.
I refuse to get it. I refuse to get an iPhone.
Yeah, I just I don't know. I don't like Android. It's weird.
I love Android. It's great. I never changed it. The only reason I got the Mac is because PC is just inferior when it comes to music production in particular. And also, I've had PCs all my life, and they're absolute pain in the ass to maintain. So I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna get the Mac because I originally planned on being a music producer and artist with my MacBook purchase. I did not intend to be a YouTuber, and it just ended up working out that way. Where, because if I did go into it planning on becoming a YouTuber, I probably would have made some different purchases, because this Mac technically isn't designed. It's good enough to do it, but it's not specifically optimized for video production. Fortunately, I don't do a lot of crazy video production. I'm still pretty relatively low tech, but yeah, it's not the optimal. This is mainly built for music, but it still works. Music is close enough where I'm able to get by using the Mac, but I just got to be more careful and make sure I'm optimizing and deleting stuff.
Yeah.
All your drug dealer friends had at least 2 or 3 pages in high school. Funny enough, none of the drug dealers I knew had pagers. And I think that's because I'm part of a younger generation. They just had cell phones. They just had burners. But they I didn't go through the era where the drug dealers I knew had pagers. By then social media was becoming a thing, and they had more modern cell phones. But yeah, they conducted their business pretty standard. Wasn't I didn't know any drug kingpins, but mainly weed and pill dealers. None, people always thought especially when I was to college, they always thought I had drugs for some reason. I would always get stopped and asked for drugs, and never had it. Was never my thing. But because based on the amount of foot traffic I was getting just without even trying, I could have been pretty successful at it. would have helped me stay in college longer to pay off some of those loans.
Yeah, I just defaulted on my loans, and the government took my tax returns for many years. So
that's one way to do it. So you're allegedly someone who is not an Xbox fanboy. So I'm guessing you weren't reacting like some others were when you heard that Jim Ryan stepped down.
As a PlayStation fan, I was reacting very positively, because I feel like Jim Ryan set back the video game industry quite a bit for many years by simply being just behind, like very like cross, like you cannot deny like that he set back crossplay like almost a whole generation.
Absolutely, and you're definitely not alone. There was a lot of PlayStation fans that were celebrating. It was weird. It was weird. That's one of the reasons why this console war stuff is so cringe and seems pretty one-sided, because like every time something happens with PlayStation, I see Xbox accounts that are Xbox fanboy accounts that are just like, oh yeah, and there's like so just detached from reality and ridiculous. Like they're like, yes, yeah, Jim Ryan's going, ponies are crying right now. I'm like, literally, no, they're not.
No,
they're like, no, this is great.
yeah, I feel like yeah, I feel like obviously for anybody to work at one company for 30 years is certainly remarkable, especially in this day and age. So I mean, he obviously did things right. PlayStation obviously took over with PS4 like massively, and like there's obviously a lot of kudos that go to him for that. But I think he also held them back in a lot of ways, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
And how many times have they been hacked under his watch? Like
that too. I mean, they just got hacked in the last 2 weeks, and a large reason why they pulled ahead is specifically because Xbox forced their hand, because Xbox was just pushing innovation and leaving PlayStation in the dust. So they were forced to adapt in order to keep up.
There was one, I mean to cut you off, but there's like one fateful day that I will never forget. It was at E3, and it was when they were both going to unveil the Xbox One and the PS4. And Xbox went a day before PlayStation, and they had to deal with all the backlash. So you're always going to be online. And PlayStation had a whole day to react because they were going to do the same thing,
Mhm.
and they were able to get out in front of it and say, no, we are not.
Yeah.
And that changed everything. That one moment alone. I forget who was like running Xbox at the time. Doc Matrick or something like that. Something, I forget his name, but he ended up like basically Phil replaced him. Like,
was he the same guy that turned down Marvel for when they were approaching studios to collab?
probably. I mean,
Yeah, because
but that may have also been Phil. I mean, I don't know how far back Insomniac got Spider-Man, but
this was probably in the Sunset Overdrive era.
yeah, so then it wouldn't have been him. It would have been the other guy. Because I don't think Phil took over till like 14 or 15.
Yeah.
It was after Xbox One and PlayStation 4 came out. And listen, I'm sure Phil has made a lot of bad decisions too. Obviously, you know, we've seen stuff like he's definitely not like perfect. But I feel like Phil has reacted better to those things, probably because he had to, you know, like Xbox has to be more open-minded about crossplay because
PlayStation is not.
Yeah, you know, and
hopefully that's one of the things that we're not going to have to worry about going forward, and we'll see who they choose. But I also saw in Jay Strive's reporting that not only were some fans happy that Jim Ryan was stepping down, but studios in general, Sony studios specifically, were expressing concerns and discontent about this big pivot into live service gaming, which if you speak to a lot of game developers, they're not very fond of it.
Yeah, I really and truly think this is going to be a net positive for Sony.
I think
huh?
Yeah, I think it will be as well.
Yeah, like I just feel like I just look back at like he basically tried to hold up the Activision deal just because, you know, like he was saying ridiculous things like, oh, well, you know, if they get Activision, I don't know how we're gonna survive. You know, like just ridiculous things like that. Like that, you know, I understand that he's trying to protect his company, but like some of the things he was saying was just utterly preposterous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And like the whole, when it comes to the live service stuff, is just like I don't mind the occasional live service game, but to put that much of an emphasis on it, it's like, why?
I think I always go back to not all live service games are not created equal. So like to be a live service, like there are different levels and variables that have to be considered. I personally like the idea of a live service game because if I love a game, I'm gonna want to play it, you know, a lot, right? You know, like I'm gonna want like new content, and new content doesn't come for free. Like there's just too many people that think I paid my $70 for the game.
Yeah,
everything that you make has to come to me.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with. And I think most people like the idea of a game that they can kind of keep going back to. That's going to keep getting more content. The problem when you have live service models, when it's done like with when it's combined with anti-consumer practices, that's when you start running into the issues, and you see why people are complaining, because we do recognize that, you know, you got to it costs money, so you got to maintain it. But as we saw with Epic Games, even if you're making all the money, it doesn't always matter. And you know, that's another thing we're get to. But because, you know, we're seeing, even in the case of Fortnite, arguably the most, or at least definitely one of the most successful live service games of all time, it doesn't guarantee everything is going to be okay, because of how poorly Tim Sweeney mismanaged Epic Games, despite the fact that Fortnite, I remember a time literally Fortnite raised like $300 million in one day,
Yeah, it's
because
crazy. I don't.
because
Yeah.
they're firing 16% of their workforce now.
Well, then just before COVID started, they bought a freaking shopping mall, and we're in the process of converting it to their new offices.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you, I made a lot of money off that creative program.
Yeah,
I mean,
apparently the career program was one of the things that wasn't making the money, but I think
it's 5%. Like
but
that can't be the issue.
it's probably I think their constant legal battles have something to do with it.
Yeah.
Their battle against Steam, their fight against Apple and Google Play Store, and just general mismanagement has. I didn't even know they owned Bandcamp. I just saw that they were.
I didn't know that either.
I just saw as part of their in addition to firing almost 900 people, they also sold Bandcamp in order to stabilize their finances.
Yeah, it is definitely crazy to think that like that many people got laid off. Yeah, like they were throwing money at creators like crazy. There was one time, okay, like this is the best video I've ever made, and it's not even one that has the most views. They did this promotion right when I started playing Fortnite. It was right around Valentine's Day, where they did 4-time creator payout for a 2-week period. And if you used a content creator's code during that time, you got like a free wrap or something like that for your gun in the game. Either that or a glider. I forget which it was. And I made a video explaining that. Okay. And I went to bed and it had like, I don't know, like 1,000 views, something like that. And it went live that night when I made the video. Okay. And I'm like, oh, use creator code JayShockblast, all that. I woke up in the morning and the video had like 50,000 views. And I'm like, what is going on here? So I look into it and apparently it went live, but the wraps weren't going out. So clearly people started Googling it and looking on YouTube for information about it. And because probably not many people made that video, and I did, mine was popping up and everybody was using my creator code. I made like $20,000 that 2 weeks.
Holy.
Okay. I made so much money during that. Like it wasn't just that 2 weeks because it stays in there for 2 weeks. So like that video kept getting views over the course of that 2-week period. So like just people kept using my creator code and like I just cannot could not. I would log in every day. What am I at? Oh my God. What am I at? Oh my God. It was like insane.
So basically what you're saying is it's your fault that all those people got fired.
No, it's PewDiePie's fault, man. Like
you bankrupted.
I mean, like people I'm lucky now if I get $100 a month, like that was fluke luck. Okay. I mean, I've definitely gotten like here and there, I'll get like a $300 a month or something like that. But like,
I don't play Fortnite at all. But I think I got like $100 a couple months ago. Just because I make a couple videos, or I made some shirts before, but if there's something new for Fortnite, I'll make a community post and basically like, hey, use my creator code.
But the crazy thing is, and the thing that people forget is, it's not even just Fortnite; it's literally the Epic Games Store.
Yeah, just in general.
So yeah, and I don't think that a situation like that will ever happen to me again. All right,
unless they're definitely not going to be doing that creator incentive thing anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't. Well, they never did it again either.
Yeah.
Like that was the one and only time they did it. It was a 20% payout, and like people bought a lot of shit that 2 weeks. So,
it doesn't like it's going to happen because they got a lot of issues coming up, especially in the timing is crazy because they also reportedly had a bunch of layoffs connected to the Epic Game Store for Fall Guys. They wouldn't comment specifically on how many people from them they laid off, but yeah, this is a bloodbath, and it could get potentially worse because we just got official word. We knew already that that this was going to happen. the writers and the writer strike is over, but the video game strike could potentially be beginning. We knew the members were they we knew a couple weeks ago that they were going to authorize the strike. They had the vote overwhelmingly to authorize it as an option, but we were basically like, oh, we have to wait until towards the end of the month to kind of see. And the latest update is that they have not made a deal. They were unable to make a deal. So if they end up not resolving it in the next few weeks, then the video game industry will go on strike next. And now it won't be nearly as bad as what we saw with the actor strike, because the eligible members of the video game industry that are going strike are mainly the voice actors. So it's going to basically affect motion capture and voice work, and that is obviously a big part of gaming, and that will cause some projects to be delayed. But because it's a part of the game development process that's usually knocked out pretty early, it's not going to affect a lot of games, but it will affect live service games, and it will affect games that are in really early development, because they won't be able to finish it until they're allowed to do voice work. But it won't be as severe because they'll still be able to work on the games. Like, most of the game production will be able to get done. The level design, the anime, everything, pretty much everything will, for the most part, get done, except if you're a game where you're going to get mocap from the voice actors as well, that part is going to be delayed. But everything else they'll still be able to work on. But depending on how long, there are ways around it. Obviously, Fortnite, I don't think based on how Fortnite has behaved so far, they're going to find a way around it anyway. They don't need voice work, or they'll need new voice work, and
you can just put placeholder stuff in there.
Yeah, they're going to make their money, especially now. So if anyone's going to be scabbing, it's definitely going to be Epic Games. count on it. But certain other games could be impacted. Reportedly, Spider-Man 2 has a DLC in development that was supposed to come out in 2024. We got that scoop from Deeper Depths, friend of the channel, who did an interview with Tony Todd. Tony Todd, the voice of Venom, he teased that he had a project dropping in 2024. And then when Deeper Depths caught up with Najee Jeter, the voice of Miles Morales, Najee Jeter let slip apparently that him, Yuri Lowenthal, and Tony Todd were all working on the same project for 2024. So that sounds like Spider-Man 2 related DLC. So we don't know if their work is done or how far along that is. That could be impacted. We don't know how far along Marvel's Wolverine is in development. I know they started mocap work at the very least in 2021, or 2022. I know for a fact they teased mocap starting early 2022, so that's probably okay. But the Marvel games from EA, Black Panther and Iron Man, those will be affected. The third Marvel game that EA is supposed to do, that would be affected as well. So hopefully it gets resolved soon, but because you're not going to feel it right away. But if it goes on too long, you might start seeing some stuff start getting pushed, and some certain DLC in the meantime, or DLC plans might get pushed. But long term, I don't think we'll see a lot of big game delays, because I'm pretty sure they're going to work it out.
Yeah, there's definitely ways around it. I mean, placeholder, dialogue, stuff like that. Like, you have someone in-house do it and everything. And did I ever show you my me in the voice acting room or the voice recording room at NetherRealm?
I think you showed. I think you just showed the Omni-Man mocap.
Yeah. Hold on. So Caboose recorded this, and let me see if I can find it.
Does it have any profanity in it, Jay?
No profanity.
Okay, good.
I know where it is. Hold on. Yeah, I think I shared it on like one of my Mortal Kombat streams. Hold on, let's see if I can find it real quick. I did get to go into the actually it must be this one. We did get to go into where they do all their voice acting recording and stuff like that. All right, let's go to this one. Sorry, they're all unmarked videos from my iPhone.
Good job.
Here we go. All right, so Caboose is recording this for me. This is where I went in to tell people to go talk to a wall. Windows, sorry, right here, share.
Oh, that's a nice setup.
Yeah.
Can't hear you, Jay. Speak up.
Yeah. So anyway, that was worth it.
That's a quality looking studio there.
I never actually tweeted that or anything, so should work on that. That wasn't even like a real good picture of actually I have a picture of the inside of the room. Like it was you've got like all the sound dampeners and everything. Obviously the production room is through the glass, as you're well aware of how that works.
What kind of mic did they use? A Newman?
I don't know. I didn't actually get a good look. It looks like there's some Sony monitoring headphones, and let's see.
I imagine they got some pretty expensive equipment there.
Yeah, I mean that's the mic. Did I ever show you how they did the facial capture?
You did not show us the facials, Jay. Show us the facials.
All right, hold on. That maybe came out wrong.
Or it came on right, depending on how you look at it.
Hold on. All right, so these are while I was at NetherRealm. Obviously it's all cool. There's their motion capture room.
The Omni-Man session.
Yeah, we think they're recording Omni-Man. So this is how they do their facial capture. There's like 200 cameras there. Shout out to Uncaged Games. And you basically go in this ball, and there is like literally like they take pictures of your face from like every possible angle.
I see. There's no possible way to not be captured in that one.
Yeah. Like this is some of their other stuff in the studio. Since we're looking at it, they've got this awesome art going up the stairs. They got a Sector and Cyrax elevator. That's
Jay flexing on the haters.
The actual claymation from Mortal Kombat 1. And then you got like all these different displays from the Mortal Kombat. This is me flexing on the haters outside. I took this picture very specifically to show off me outside of Ed Boon's office. There's like Uncaged Games closet. He's sitting there literally going through it. Yep, got that.
Man is a freak.
Yeah.
We gotta get them on the podcast.
We definitely do. Definitely that's sick, you know. 1 million subscriber plaque. First time I've ever seen one person.
One day I'll get one. That's my goal.
This is when I got to play. And then one more flex. Me and the man himself, Ed Boon.
Ooh.
So
anytime someone on Twitter talks shit, Jay just like, yeah, look at it's just me and Ed Boon.
Yeah. I actually in one of the videos I posted yesterday, I to block the brutality that happened in the video, I just put that picture.
That's actually kind of perfect.
Yeah. So, and then somebody in the next video, because I didn't actually do a match so that you could like see, or I did a match and it was just like, oh, victory, whatever. I was like just doing regular punches because I didn't want to do a fatality or a brutality. And somebody commented, you should have done what you did in the last video and just done a brutality so we could hear it. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. You watched the last video and you noticed that.
There you go.
That's funny. Yeah. Ed Boon was great. He pretended that he remembered when I helped his daughter play Lego Worlds at E3 in 2017.
I don't think he could ever forget.
Yeah. No, because like that was the thing that happened when I was at E3. I was hanging out at the Lego Worlds booth because I knew those guys, and that's one of the reasons I was there. And Ed Boon walks up with his daughter, and the person that was like at the booth for Lego Worlds had stepped away, and I'm like, oh, I could help you. I know who you are.
Yeah.
So
you basically work at Lego anyway, so
yeah. So like, she just sat down and started playing, and so I was like, yeah, you have a daughter, right? Like we met at, I know you're not gonna remember this, but we met at E3 2017. She was at the Lego Worlds booth with you, and I helped you guys out with it. It's like, oh, I think I do remember. I'm like, no, you don't. But I appreciate you trying. I appreciate you trying.
Come on, Jay. How could anyone forget you? Especially you helping his daughter. I'm sure.
Listen, that man meets so many people. There's no reason to remember me, especially 2017 me.
He helped. He helped you helped his daughter. I'm sure he cherished that memory.
I had not. I don't even. Well, no, I must have played Mortal Kombat on the channel before. I definitely played Injustice. So, all right. Well, yeah.
Give yourself more credit, Jay. You're a big deal in the industry.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ed Boon knows exactly who you are.
I think he might know who I am now, a little bit, but not like the same way he knows, a lot of these other guys, like Uncaged and Caboose and Unruly.
They're basically best friends, so.
Well, yeah, but like, but that's why, like, so like even that XP video I made, like, I didn't know how people would react to it. I thought like some people would say, "Oh, you're just being a baby." Get good and just keep grinding, Exactly. But it genuinely, the feedback was like 92% agreeing with me, and Unruly actually retweeted the video and commented in it, which, like, listen, him and I have met a bunch of times, but like, like I don't know him as well as I know like Caboose or Uncaged. So to me, that meant a lot. Like, because it's
a cosign.
Yeah. And like, listen, I'm not the same kind of creator as he is when it comes to the game. Like, he's a player. This is how you do this. This is how you find this. This is what you get for this. Like, I like to show you how to find stuff. I enjoy the game. I know I'm not good. As a matter of fact, I have actually gotten worse at the game the more I've tried to grind to unlock all the stuff, because I'm literally going in and playing the same match over and over again and pressing uppercut, uppercut, uppercut. And sometimes I have to do a fourth uppercut. So like, I'm not learning anything, because like the best method to getting XP in the game is to play this one specific type of match where you fight 3 different enemies and to get a brutality on them all 3 times and hopefully get a flawless victory. That's the way you get the most XP. And it's just boring as fuck.
That sounds honestly, that sounds way more boring than running Hives and Marvel's Avengers.
Exactly. It is. It absolutely is. But I'm doing it because I want to get all the stuff unlocked, and I know not everybody is doing that and getting all the stuff unlocked. So, and those videos are doing okay. Like the Scorpion one, the first one I posted, it's at 13,000 views, and the Smoke one is at a little over 2,000, Sub-Zero 2,500. So like, they're gonna get some views over time. And like, they're not going to be the type that gets them all at once, but they're doing okay. So like, It's just a matter of like trying to get those done. So I don't know. Mortal Kombat's been pretty good for me so far, though. I've had a pretty good month. Definitely one of my better months.
I just inspired somebody to buy the Marvel's Avengers Collector's Edition.
Oh, sick.
From watching the podcast.
Oh, did they tweet that?
Yep. Shout out to JGX, buddy of mine and fellow Ubisoft content creator.
Oh, nice.
glad I can help contribute to the Tomb Raider fund. or wherever that money's going. Of course, or save the Embracer Group fund at this point. Who knows?
So, not to rush anything. How much more do we have? Because I have to go to the bathroom.
We have. I mean, the only thing left is Ahsoka. If you want to do that,
It was good.
it was mid.
All right. Well, that's sufficient for Ahsoka, I guess.
Yep, that's it. We'll tune back next week where Elon Musk will enact his grand plan or not. Probably not. It seems anticlimactic. So we could just we could just wrap it up. I'm still almost done Rebels, but that's really the only thing that's exciting to me because we have a pretty great television lineup stacked. Well, streaming lineup stacked. We got new Castlevania just dropped on Netflix. We got the new Boys spinoff series on Amazon that just dropped. So I'm definitely going to be diving into that this weekend and taking advantage of my DoorDash code that I got from Capcom. So hopefully we'll have a special guest soon. I'm working on behind the scenes that I think you're going to really like, and we'll keep you posted if it comes up. So once again, appreciate everyone, Divine Shine, Capte, Quarter Gamer, Steven, Ace, everybody, Old Man, Eastwood, Free Willy Rocks. Appreciate all y'all for once again supporting. We'll catch y'all next week. I'm Sadot the Gamer.
I'm Casual Avenger.
Stop the cap.
JayShockblast.
There you go. Zip it up and zip it out. Peace in deep dish.